Superman punch. Jump. Left kick. One more time. Push kick. Push kick.
Charles Oliveira has officially started training camp for his big fight with Ilia Topuria. He's focused, fired up, and putting in serious work every day. With the featherweight champ in his sights, Charles is doing everything he can to get ready, pushing hard, training smart, and staying sharp with the skills that made fans love him. At the heart of his preparation is sparring, which is brutal, technical, and fast-paced. Oliveira is moving with urgency, switching stances, slipping punches, and finding his range. He's trading shots with sparring partners who mimic Topuria's explosive style, testing Oliveira's timing, reflexes, and ability to counter under pressure. Each round pushes his cardio and fight IQ deeper into fight-ready mode. After sparring, Oliveira moves to the pads. His coach calls out combos fast, and Oliveira answers with clear punches, quick elbows, and fast kicks. His Muay Thai is smooth and strong. Each hit makes a sharp sound in the gym. Then it's time to wrestle. Oliveira goes to the mat to practice takedowns, moving from one hold to another and controlling his position. He works on changing levels, shooting for the legs, stopping takedowns, and getting out of bad spots. He also practices jiu-jitsu like submissions, moving around and escaping. Different training partners come in one after the other to keep the pressure up. He also works on pushing his opponent back to the cage and getting back up. This kind of hard, close grappling could be very important against Topuria. From there, he heads to the gym area where he gets on the machines, pushing heavy weights with grit, building explosive strength through controlled reps. Kettlebells swing from his hands in powerful arcs as he works his hips and shoulders, building that rotational force crucial for grappling and striking alike.
Foi bom nessa vez. Aí tem você.
heavy bag, he practices his leg kicks over and over. Right leg, then left. Again and again, he is not just hitting hard, but working on where the kick lands and how fast it is. Each kick hits the bag harder than the one before, sweat flying as his shin connects every time. Oliveira then drops down with a pair of dumbbells for lying extensions, pressing through each rep to build upper body strength and stamina. It's not flashy, but it's effective. Every set builds toward keeping his arms fresh in later rounds when many fighters fade. To finish off the session, he hops on the exercise bicycle, legs pumping through intervals that test his lungs. Oliveira is pushing the pace with no shortcuts and no comfort zones. His face is focused, breathing controlled, legs churning like an engine. As Charles Oliveira powers through training, he's showing everyone how far he's come. Joe Rogan has talked about this many times. He's seen Oliveira grow from a 20-year-old with talent into a top-level finisher. Rogan points out that Oliveira took time to figure things out. He was learning while fighting the best in the world, but somewhere around age 27 or 28, things clicked. Since then, Oliveira hasn't just been winning, he's been finishing fights in a brutal and clean fashion. Rogan often brings up the way he submitted Dustin Poirier. It wasn't flashy, just perfect. He's done it since his early days, like when he choked out Efrain Escudero. That same style defined as quick, sharp, and tight still defines him.
And I also think that he got into the UFC when he was 20. And so part of the problem was like he was learning and developing and growing as an elite in an elite organization. How old is he? 32.
Oh, okay, wow.
32. So see, he's been around a long ass time, but he came into his own over the last few years, which kind of makes sense. Like he figured it out somewhere around 27, 28. But he comes, look, these guys are elite, right? They come close to beating him, but he finds a way to beat them. And the way he does it is so final. The way he beat Poirier, man, that choke was so fucking good. It was so good. Yeah. And that's the same way the world found out about him was Efrain Escudero, who won the Ultimate Fighter. So who was a very good fighter himself. He fought Oliveira, and Oliveira took his back same way, standing up, and choked him out. And that's when we first saw it.
Rogan also talks about how Oliveira fights with pressure. When the bell rings, he charges forward. It overwhelms opponents, even big punchers like Justin Gaethje. And when he gets dropped, Oliveira doesn't panic. He falls to his back and dares opponents to follow. But they don't. They know his ground game is dangerous.
From the moment the first bell rings, he's coming at you.
Engaging,
guns blazing. Yeah. And Gaethje was coming at him too, but it's like Gaethje was overwhelmed by Oliveira's pace and his aggression. It's why, and even when Gaethje cracked him, Oliveira's so different than anybody else. When he gets hit, he just lays on his back. Yeah. And he's like, come get some of this. And nobody wants that guard game.
He gets a break.
So he's got the most submissions in the history of the sport.
He recovers.
Yes, so because nobody wants to go to the ground with him.
Normally, guys would just come bombing in. Yeah. Just try to land anything extra. It's like when you wound an animal, any other arrow in it is go. You just trying to glance something off, catch something. Most time guys will hurt a guy, come in and just go crazy. But
now, what makes Oliveira special, according to Rogan, is how he uses fear to control fights. Most fighters avoid the ground with him, and for good reason. His submissions are fast, smooth, and hard to stop. Rogan has seen a lot of great grapplers, but very few finish like Oliveira. He's sharp, calm, and always a step ahead.
With him, no, you don't want that ground game. Yeah. His ground game is so elite. It's so good. I mean, I wonder how he would do in a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament, because I think he would do very well. Because I watched the way he finishes submissions, the way he syncs things up. I mean, it is top of the food chain stuff. I've seen a lot of jiu-jitsu in my days. I've rarely seen anyone compete in MMA that closes the show like Oliveira when the fight goes to the ground. His shit is razor sharp. Razor.
While Rogan highlighted Oliveira's sharp ground game and killer instinct, Michael Chandler sees something just as important, which is resilience. Chandler has faced Oliveira himself, and his respect runs deep. He doesn't just admire Charles for his finishes or flashy highlights. What stands out most is the full journey. Chandler talks about how Oliveira was once seen as unreliable due to missing weight, losing fights he shouldn't, and making strange career choices. But instead of fading out, Charles built himself back up. He started showing up with more focus, beating elite fighters like Poirier, Gaethje, and even Chandler himself. To Chandler, that kind of bounce back takes more than skill. It takes character.
He's been very active. He won the title, lost the title, just lost to Arman. And man, I respect the hell out of Charles, man. He's one of the great ones in the sport. He's got a hell of a story, man. Just an absolutely unreliable guy when he was younger, missing weight and winning fights he shouldn't have won, and then losing fights he shouldn't have lost, coming back, building himself back up, becoming the champion, beating Oliveira, beating Gaethje, beating Poirier, two of the best guys to ever do it in the life.
What Chandler also sees in Oliveira is a strange, effective build. He's long, lean, and flexible. Those bony arms and legs make his submissions so tight, especially his rear naked choke. Chandler says Oliveira's limbs wrap around you like rope, and once they're locked in, there's almost no way out. He can stretch opponents out completely and squeeze like a machine. That's part of what makes him so dangerous on the ground. It's not brute strength, it's how his body works like a perfect submission tool. And yet, Chandler is honest. He doesn't see Oliveira as the most dominant guy. In fact, he points out how Oliveira gets hurt a lot, falls into bad spots, and still finds a way to win. That's where his experience and jiu-jitsu instincts come in. Chandler respects how Oliveira stays calm under fire, using those long limbs to tie people up, threaten triangles, and stay dangerous even while flat on his back. For Chandler, watching Oliveira train or fight means seeing someone who's not perfect, but who never stops trying to improve. He's seen Oliveira grow, adapt, and refine his style over the years. That's what makes Charles Oliveira such a tough puzzle for any opponent, including Ilia Topuria.
Right? I mean, he finished Poirier, finished Gaethje, finished so many guys. He's got however many 20-something submissions or something like that. Over $1 million in bonuses. The guy's got, right? You guys are probably looking at how many freaking rear naked chokes he has. It's probably half of his submissions are rear naked chokes because he's the perfect body type. If you go back and watch how long his forearms are,
it's crazy.
And they're not big, they're bony and they're skinny, but he's still strong. So he's got really long arms and he's got really long legs. So he's gonna lock that figure four up around the body.
Yeah.
And freaking squeeze your guts out, separate your freaking rib over here on the right side. What was that, round 3
when that one was happening?
I mean, I think he got it in...
Is that the one where he had you like fully stretched out?
He's not the most dominant guy. If you watch him, you know, he gets in bad positions and guys hurt him, but he's long and lanky and he could close his eyes and use his feet like hands, you know, and tie you up and do these things with his big old long limbs. So it's a tough position to be in because he's so good at being defensive in those positions because he's been in those positions so much. And that's what you have to be as a jiu-jitsu artist. You are going to concede the position and let a guy be on top of you so you can triangle him and armbar him.
Whereas Justin Gaethje felt something much more physical, which was the raw and unexpected power in Oliveira, and not just the kind that stuns or stings. In Gaethje's own words, Oliveira hit him with something he had never experienced before in a cage. Right from the opening seconds of their fight, Charles caught Gaethje with a shot that rattled him to his core. This wasn't just a flash knockdown or a momentary buzz. Gaethje described it like his whole body lit up, comparing the sensation to sticking his tongue on a high voltage battery. It wasn't just once either. It happened multiple times throughout the fight. Each time the timing was spot on and the shots were clean. This surprised a lot of people because Charles is known more for his submissions than his striking, but Gaethje saw it differently. He said Oliveira's punches were sharp, powerful, and landed at the right time. They were not wild or messy. They were clean and well placed, and they quickly changed the pace of the fight. So while Oliveira's grappling is often the headline, Gaethje's fight proves that his hands deserve just as much attention. That mix of crisp timing and unusual force makes him dangerous on the feet, not just on the ground.
You know, my last fight, you know, Charles was brilliant, you know, and he hurt me often. He hurt me early. 10 seconds in, I was, you know, really hurt, and probably 4 times after that, I felt something I've never felt in a cage. So, you know, it was just one of those fights where, you know, it was against adversity the whole time. You know, it was a feeling I've never felt. You know, usually you get hit, you call it a buzz, Called a flash. And this is more like my tongue just went on a super powerful battery, and it just my entire body. It was crazy. So yeah, it was perfect shots. Perfect time, one or the other, and yeah, it was the factors that I faced that night.
After Gaethje's first-hand account of Oliveira's surprising power, Demetrious Johnson adds another layer by emphasizing just how complete and dangerous Charles really is. Johnson sees Oliveira as a fighter who brings chaos from every angle. He respects how Charles constantly pressures opponents, pushing forward with sharp knees, dangerous clinch work, and high-level grappling exchanges. It's not just one skill, rather it's all of them working together in a tight, relentless package.
Now, obviously, Charles Oliveira is very good at pressuring the people he fights with the knees, the clinch, and the grappling exchange.
One thing Johnson notices about Oliveira is how calm he stays in tough spots. Most fighters try to avoid being on the ground, but Charles welcomes it. When he goes on his back, his opponents often stop and hesitate. That pause lets Charles reset or catch them with a surprise move. Johnson respects how Charles can turn a defense into an attack, using moves like pulling guard or quick submissions from angles no one expects.
Charles Oliveira. Now, like I said before, when I was watching these fights, Charles Oliveira does a good job because people don't like to follow him in the guard, right? When Charles goes to his back, Charles gets back.
When asked whether he would want his son to fight like Khabib or Oliveira, Johnson chose Charles. Not because he is the safer choice, but because Charles is dangerous everywhere. He has knockout power, a strong guard, slick leg locks, a tight guillotine, and good striking. To Johnson, Oliveira is not just skilled, but he is unpredictable in a very technical way.
Who would you rather your son fight like? Khabib or Charles Oliveira? I said, Charles Oliveira. Because I feel Charles Oliveira is dangerous in more places. Well, I feel Charles can knock you out. He can submit you from anywhere, not just from the back. He can go in his back. He has his leg lock game. He has his guillotine. He's very good in the clinch. He has good boxing.
This kind of praise means a lot coming from someone like Johnson, a fighter known for mastering every aspect of MMA. To him, Oliveira is a constant threat no matter where the fight goes. Do you think Oliveira will stop Topuria, or is he ready to shock the world? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you.